Okay, so welcome back. We were interrupted by life, comma, whatever.
Yes.
So here we go. Continuing with the Flash. One of the more funny things that happened in all the shows this week was the gag of blind Barry. He didn't lose his powers, but he did lose his sight due to an encounter with Dr. Light. And Grant Gustin, that guy is awesome.
Yeah, no, that scene was really well played, and I loved Cisco. I love the Cyrano de Bergerac, kind of premise. He's telling him what to say and what to do, and in this case, Barry playing the blind guy was awesome, and I loved that when she figured one that she isn't dumb and she figured it out, but two, when she did, that she wasn't just like, in Smallville or Arrow or some stupid show, they'd make a big deal like, how you be lying to me? What are you trying to think? Maybe some stupid, or somehow it would end up blowing everything up, as opposed to her just laughing at him being a nerd and it being perfect. So I thought that was great.
I actually I like the I guess you would call it hashtag Bivot, hashtag Batty, Barry and Patty combo. That's just a sweet little. I mean, sure, I pair them off together. That's fine. The girl that Cisco was trying to get the number of and successfully did. That is our. Well, are they not calling? Dude, the whole Hawk Girl thing. Like, is she not Shiara? Is she? Is that not her name? Either way, that was our introduction to Hawk Girl. That is our Hawk Girl on Legends of Tomorrow. So, coffee shop girl, Hawk Girl.
What's her name? Was that Kendra?
Kendra, right?
Sanders or Saunders?
Yeah, I know. That's probably Hawk Girl's name in the comics, but there's this whole thing of like, well, who the fuck cares about?
When she first started, like that was her modern name before she realizes that she's Shiera. Because like in the old Origins, like they're not immortals or aliens. They're possessed by immortal spirits or something, or they're continuously resurrected as new people, but they're the same old people. And then she and Hawkman.
That's what they're gonna go with for this one. I just hope that they give her. I guess it's just weird for me to hear called. The only encounter of Hawk Girl anybody's ever had is in, JLU. She was the heart of that show. Her and John made that show go. So,
no, you're right. I mean, and although she has had a much higher profile over the past decade or so because of that show, in the comics, Hawkman was always a much bigger figure. Hawkgirl doesn't have I mean, she's been around a long time, but it's not like that JLU stuff. That was her. That was the essence of her, and that it was still just the Vanguard thing. They're just, I don't know. The aliens thing's been around for a long time too. I don't know.
I think they're going to Indiana Jones it, where they're going to tie in the aliens to the ancient cultures.
Right.
So they can have their cake and eat it too a little bit. But anyway, that was our introduction to her. I mean, until Hawkman, we know that she's not going to end up with Cisco, so they really need to come up with a better love interest for him. But anyway, there was that comment from both Harrison Wells and Jay Garrick about the doubles of people or whatever. And are they just going to keep sending doubles of evil doubles of Barry's life over, and then the camera like pans right to Caitlin? So I keep thinking they're not going to turn our Caitlin into Killer Frost, but that's
what I thought too. Because also it's right before the only question is right before some line she says, like, none of us would ever turn evil.
Right.
That was the one thing. Well, maybe she will actually, but I don't know. I was other than that one line the whole time I was getting the impression that would be someone from the other side, one of the Earth 2 people, her.
Yeah, I mean, and she needs. She was very, very. And I wouldn't say Harrison Wells was the leader of the team in the first season, but she had more to do, I guess is a better way to put it. They could find better uses for her this season. And Iris. I mean, Iris had the nice emotional arc with her mom, but like she seems to be plot wise just kind of sitting aside for the moment.
Her plot seems to have tied in more with the Star Labs people than her own actual life and identity. Like she's around them and she's part of Team Flash now, but she's not. Well, I mean, I guess this last one featured her at work because it featured Linda, but there hasn't been much of her doing impressive things. Speaking of unimpressive things, did you see that hit on Bridgewater yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, dude, that was really. And then today he's like, I don't have a concussion. No, I'm going to play on Sunday. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, who believes that?
Dude got
That was
knocked
a
out. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, dude got knocked out.
But yeah, Hawk Girl, that's going to be cool. I'm excited to see what they do. I guess that makes sense. The aliens as old ancient artifacts thing, it's always a good way to go.
All right, so there was a line in the episode that really kind of bothered me, which is why I dragged it down from an A to a B plus. Was Barry says something? Maybe it was a joke, and if it was a joke, I guess it's okay. It's fine. More than I guess. He says something like, "Yeah, I had to resist the urge to kill him," in reference to Harrison Wells. Barry has no urge to kill anybody. Come on now.
Yeah, I agree. You're right. It didn't play like a joke. It played like he was empathizing or being serious. And yeah, I agree. Barry's not that kind of guy. He's not.
Especially like this.
Yeah. Well, no, Barry's always supposed to be kind of an optimist, a pragmatist, but an optimist. And I agree. That's not his character.
But anyway, the Flash is. They don't really, other than that one Captain Cold episode, it was they stay on a level. They stay on a pretty good level. But I would say this episode, I would say B plus. Not their best, but it's really hard for Flash to do anything less.
No, I'd agree. I think that this was. I mean, it was a good hour of a cool show. It didn't hit the highs that Flash is capable of hitting, and has hit many times already, a couple this season. But this, I agree. This again we have a great cast, some great character interactions, great chemistry between them, and Dr. Light's here.
That's not the last we see of her. Though she did kill I mean, they straight up killed the other Linda, so
What? No, they haven't, not yet.
Didn't she kill herself?
No, she hit her, but she didn't kill her, I don't think.
No, she killed the newspaper editor. That's right.
Yeah, she definitely killed him. She tried to kill him.
But anyway, Zoom continues to be a mystery, though. I think it's Barry or Henry Allen. Those would be my guesses.
I think those are both great guesses. I was thinking Barry, but Henry makes perfect sense.
If only because we haven't seen him. And it would just be a cool way for like, oh no, he was on the show the whole time. I mean, not our Henry, but that,
Yeah, the actor. That actor. Yeah. Sorry,
and the suit looks more like his Flash than our, like it's got the tone, the muscularity of the old Flash 90s costume. So
no, you're right. It has that kind of that foam built muscle look. As opposed to
that's what I was thinking. The foam, yeah. Well, because I always thought how Flash can't really have muscles, right? I mean, he just burns calories all day. So
I mean, he can have lean muscle, but that's it. It's just lean. It's lean power muscle. It's not like he's to be able to get like jacked, because he's burning it all the time, every calorie he gets. But he's running, so he's still building the muscle with it.
There's one of the before we move on. Jay Garrick's reference he straight up referenced Atlantis. He said, "My best friend lives in Atlantis."
Yeah,
fucking. Totally. So, are we gonna get Arthur?
I mean, he's not part of the Trinity. He's not one of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. So you could see he could maybe end up in both movies and TV. Obviously Barry's going to be on movies and TV. But to be a different Barry, so they could have Arthur, and it could be a different Arthur.
But that surprised me. I don't think we're getting Al, but we got Coast City, so maybe it's just a reference.
It could be, but that's unfortunate. That's Smallville style, just to give you a word as when you could give us a character.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, well, no, we can't use Aquaman because they're going to be in a movie. But literally, the name of the show is The Flash. and they're making is asinine. He's dead. I mean, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Though there was on something I was listening to this week. They did just kind of Smallville went 11 seasons, right?
I think 10. 10.
Okay, so you remember the newspaper in the first season that said Flash disappears in crisis?
Yeah.
That said, April 2024.
Yeah.
That would really actually, like, if you did the math, be the air date for the 9th season finale of The Flash. Are they really setting that up 8 seasons in advance?
It would be pretty smart. I mean, these CW shows, the good ones go on, man.
That's what I was thinking.
Supernatural's on season 11 right now. And Arrow's already on season 4.
Yeah.
Arrow feels like it doesn't feel that old, but yeah, it's already on season 4, showing no signs of slowing down, getting better actually, it seems like, since last season. There's no reason to believe Flash won't be around for a while.
I was just curious. I was like, man, that's some Brian Michael Bendis planted Civil War seeds, like, unbeknownst to Marvel editors, like 25 years before he actually, they actually wrote the concepts for Civil War at M-Day. I really wonder if Guggenheim and Berlanti and Kreisberg were just like, fuck it, we'll throw it in there and then we'll pay it off, and anybody, we don't need to tell anyone.
Because if you get canceled, what's the difference? Doesn't matter. But if you're not, then you have the ultimate show that's set up for the end of that, your run, or even if it's just that season. If you want to come back, you still have your building. I think it's awesome.
See, I would have said, you don't introduce Wally until closer to then, and then you can just hand off the torch. But but anyway, so the Flash continues to lead us down comic book rabbit holes that just frankly the other shows just kind of don't really get to. That's what made this, this is going to be the segue. That's what made this episode of Arrow so good. Arrow season 4, episode 5, Haunted. It finally connected the Arrowverse, or not. I mean, this whole thing is the Arrowverse, but connected the Arrow side of the Arrowverse to deep conceptual comic, ideas. We got the introduction of John Constantine this episode, and well done, Arrow.
Yeah, Arrow. I didn't grade Flash yet. Flash I had as a solid B plus. It was fine, but it didn't blow my mind or anything. It was a good show, good hour. Arrow was my top show of the week. I'll just right off the bat, my favorite Arrow in a while, which I think it appeared to be that way for a lot of people because it had the highest ratings for the show since the show's premiere, which is crazy and which should make Constantine fans a little optimistic about the chance of getting him somewhere else. I agree, man. That not only was a good hour, a good show, but the stuff with Constantine was fun. That actor is cool, and it's awesome expanding the universe. And the dark and the magic, that could be so cool. And it's awesome that they used Damien Dark. They have a door, and they actually took it. They didn't, and the Lazarus Pit. They're in that. Arrow's definitely, you're right, more cautious than Flash, but bravo.
Yeah, I feel like they needed a King Shark worthy comic book, even for people that don't watch the show, to drive them toward the show. And I think John Constantine. And I mean, they referenced the Orb of Osiris, so he's now involved with the Hawk people. So sure. And you watched the Constantine show on last fall and spring.
I did. Not much.
I guess they canceled it early, but apparently he had Dr. Fate's helmet in his office or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, Dr. Fate's helmet. He ran into. I don't know if he had it or someone else had it. He was with. They had Adam Arcane, I think is his name. They might have had a Faustus Felix Faust was on it. They didn't do much the first half of the season to broaden it and to give it more than just a guy fighting shadows. But as the season went on, and then they had Jim Corrigan on multiple times and revealed a shade of the Spectre. So they flirted near the end. It looked like they were just getting rearing to go. They just kind of started slow and didn't Friday night's not always the best slot.
I think they just got unlucky. Like if most of these shows get pitched like to the big networks first, and then when the big networks pass, CW says we'll do that. We'll be happy with 3-4 million a week. You know, we don't need 12 like, Big Bang Theory gets 18. We don't need those numbers. That's why these shows end up on CW. Supergirl, obviously the demos tracked really high for females as well as males, so that the CBS said, okay, we'll give that. I don't know. I have no fucking clue what executive was smoking what at NBC to think, sure, we'll pick up Constantine and stick it on Friday night. Like
it's because of Grimm. They tried that Dracula show too. They want to find something to pair with Grimm, and the problem is that Constantine was much darker than Grimm seems, and also it does, because it's so dark. Also, have the light. Even the comedy is sardonic and kind of dark. It just didn't have the same appeal. It's the same people, I don't think.
This is the same. I was gonna say, this is the same network that had a dude eating people for 3.5 seasons.
Yeah, true.
So, like, Hannibal was the grossest thing on TV, not named The Nick. I don't know if you watched The Nick, but like, good God.
I have not watched The Nick.
Yeah, 19th century medicine is fucking disgusting.
I believe it. I've heard good things.
Oh yeah, but anyway, but so I just feel like if the NBC passes, then it's on CW after Supernatural on Wednesdays. And
it makes perfect sense.
And then it's still
Flash Arrow hour. You have your superhero hour, and then the next day you have the Dark Side hour, or you even mix it up and have Flash and Constantine, Arrow and Supernatural. Either way, you have 2 fucking perfect days.
It's all that it took was just NBC being like, yes, because then if you're a show guy, you can't not say yes to the NBC money. But really, they should have said no and taken it to CW, because they obviously have a better. I mean, I love at the very end when Thea's like, well, that guy's and Ollie's like, just don't. It totally disapproves of Sister's attraction to the dude. But he's got shitty teeth. He speaks with a Cockney accent, like perfect British dude.
No, he's great for it, man. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I liked the Keanu Reeves movie. I didn't think it was Hellblazer exactly, but I thought it had a great vibe. It was cool. It was dark, and he was at his Keanu best, which is never super great or anything, but it was fine. This guy, he seemed like Constantine. He had that kind of vibe. He was dark. He seemed gritty, vulgar, gonna get slapped by a lot of chicks, gonna get in fights, not always win. He was cool. He's charismatic. I think that, and people still like the show. There's still always little petitions flying around. And I don't know that they're gonna pick up Constantine anywhere again, other than maybe CW, or that's probably it. It would have been perfect to have it do a Hellblazer show. And if you just by having that be the name, you already know, okay, so this isn't going to be, your kid show. But I think what you were talking about to me earlier is the best. Is to go the way of Justice League Dark, or as we better knew it, in the 90s and even the thousands, I believe, Shadow Pact.
Yeah, I mean, this is a passion of mine. Is these little random ass corners of the DC universe? Dr. Fate. When he's stuck in with Justice Society is lame, but when he gets to deal in mysticism, as Marvel's gonna find out next year, like that stuff is really deep and really popular. So I mean, you've been talking about Justice League Dark, and I didn't really know what that was, but I read a whole bunch of them this week. That is such a cool comic book. That's way more interesting than anything that Justice League in the actual book has done in the last couple of years. Having this magical force, Zatanna and Constantine, and those are some of the big players. But my idea for how CW could continue this, because they don't have the rights to the Constantine show, nor do they. I don't think they have the rights to Hellblazer. So, but they do have the rights to the character. So you just find him his own team, and you're certainly not going to use Justice League. That's out. If they're not even going to call Legends of Tomorrow the Justice Society, so that whole moniker is out. So call it Shadowback. That's what inspired it. And there's some of the best stories in both Marvel and DC are the ones that fall through the cracks. Like the Defender storyline in Civil War is way more interesting than what was going on with Iron Man and Captain America. In Identity Crisis, or in Infinite Crisis, like some of the minor stuff is way more interesting stuff. And that was this
Palmer with Animal Man and Starfire. Or
yeah, that stuff is way you can get it. That's I think all that stuff is sometimes more interesting than the big stuff. So my idea would be to cast a dude in a show over the summer. You already have winter and fall covered with Flash, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow, but you don't have anything in the summer. And it would be summer TV is not the graveyard that it used to be. So you could come up. There's a whole cast of characters you can and can't use, but there's a character named Black Alice who could steal other people's powers, and you could do a great little gag where like she steals Barry's powers, and you don't see what Barry had to deal with losing his powers for that hour until the fall, and
right.
then in the fall you're not even expecting it. Then Barry's like in the middle of the fight and he loses his powers for an hour. And then anybody who watched Shadowpacker over the summer can be like, that's when Black Alice took her powers. So
that'd be cool. I think there's two ways you can go about using Constantine in the show. And the more likely way would be the Outsiders, just because it could be tied to Arrow, and it could be an undangerous way to, like Legends of Tomorrow, use some new characters and some already established characters. And it would fit into the Arrowverse nice and easily. I think you're right though. Just going straight for it, go Shadow Pact. You're the network that has the originals and the Vampire Diaries and Supernatural and iZombie. You're obviously not building on, hey, we got to have everything be super serious. So I'd take it seriously, but I would dive into a fantastic story. Shadow Pact's awesome, man. You could house it out of the Oblivion Bar. You can have Detective Chimp hanging out with young Frankenstein or Frankenstein Jr. boyfriend.
Yeah,
Frankenstein character. You have Zatanna. You have Constantine. I mean, that'd be a cool show. And there's a lot of real cool characters that you could use. There's some recognizable, some are original, like Black Alice. Not original, but ones that maybe people don't know of. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you could cast it with people that if the DC department was like, well, we want Zatanna, then you could go, all right, well, let's use like I said, Black Alice. Oh, we want to use Deadman. Oh, we can't. So can we use Blue Devil? Probably. No one's gonna make a fucking Blue Devil movie anytime soon.
Certainly use Blue Devil.
Yeah, so there's all these cool options, and you could have them deal with really powerful forces like Phantom Stranger and Dr. Fate. Daredevil is on TV, and so soon is Deadpool in the movies. I think Deadman is out, but he would be a cool like little side. Anyway, they could go all kinds of directions.
I love Deadman. I think his interaction with Batman is how he used to be on Brave and the Bold frequently in like the 80s or 70s. But he's also been lots of cool stories. He's kind of a Robin type where he's the acrobat in the circus, but instead of the family dying, he's murdered. And then he becomes kind of vengeance, but then he also, becomes a detective. He can possess people. He's awesome. He's just a fighting ghost. But like you mentioned one earlier, the Demon Etrigan. I think that would be awesome. I think that was a great choice. He's visually stunning, lots of cool special effects. So you couldn't use him too often, but when you did use him, he would pay off huge.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I would say, you center it out of the Oblivion Bar, and you have like Black Alice and Constantine be they're constantly doing something for whatever the driving arc of the season is. They have a bigger villain that they're chasing, and then they get like guest team members where this week we're teaming up with Etrigan, this week we're teaming up with and then you could always have Detective Chimp like to guide them in the bar and like to help plan things out. And the voice of in the Arkham games, the voice of Detective Commissioner Gordon is Jonathan Banks, who was Mike on Breaking Bad. He was on Community for a little while. He's on Better Call Saul, but he would be this the most. I can't imagine Detective Chimp without his voice. It's such a perfect fit. But anyway, so Arrow. I don't understand they said this is what we're all going to get of Constantine, and that's it. Like, so there's not a Flash episode they couldn't use him on like 6 weeks from now?
Yeah, that seems ridiculous. I love they brought in his music, the dun dun dun. It's almost Harry Potter-ish, and it's lots of bouncy notes, like an organ. It sounds like they had this great vibe. He fit in perfectly, and you know what? They said that, but they probably didn't expect their best numbers since their premiere. They have to be stupid not to notice that, and that means they're going to want to either bring him back or do some other things with him somewhere. We're going to get. I'll be shocked if we don't get more Constantine.
Me too. And this guy just seems to love the role, so let him do it. We can't, as a guy who's into politics, works on campaigns, I can't let this episode review pass without the Chappaquiddick. Is that Harry Potter reference? The one sentence referencing Ted Kennedy and Harry Potter. Applause, Arrow writers. I applaud you. That's fantastic.
That was very cool. I like this. I like the new storyline with Oliver. I like him, trying to figure out doing politics. And when asked why, he's like, I don't know. Somebody's got to do it. And it fits in perfectly with him now because he's not the Oliver from the comics that ran from error because he had been established and had gotten back on track and knew what he was doing. He's a little bit greener to these pastures. And I thought it was hilarious. All the stuff with him and the campaign manager and with Laurel, who's not amazing, but didn't bring me down this episode. I love this episode.
Yeah, we can get to Laurel in a second, but the PA system with Felicity's voice, we're one step closer to Oracle.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, like, they're not going to paralyze her, but they could still make her. Why does she have to be paralyzed? She could be Oracle, not have to be paralyzed.
Because why can't kids in wheelchairs have a hero, have a superhero?
No, they're just not going to. They're not going to. The Killing Joke is frowned upon by a lot of places these days due to its treatment of women, and I just don't think they want those comparisons.
I mean, it's not frowned enough so much that they're not making the movie.
No, but they are. There is like some backlash toward the making of the movie. So
I don't know. I think that backlash and that kind of stuff comes loudly, but the fact that it's being made in the movie and it was used heavily in the most recent video game shows that a lot of people, especially the creative people and people in this demographic, still respect the hell out of that book and respect. And it's true. I mean, the Joker's a terrible person. This is the same guy who that year beat Jason Todd to death with a crowbar and then blew him up. I mean, it's terrible.
Yeah, no one has a problem with that. No one has a problem.
Terrible, but he's supposed to be terrible. And
you haven't played Arkham Knight, have you?
No, I have not. I've not played it past the first quarter of it.
Okay, so there's the twist of Arkham Knight makes what Joker did to both Jason Todd and Barbara in canon seem like child's play. If you ever gonna I don't want to ruin the spoiler because it's just it's jaw dropping. But
I'll be playing it at some point. I need to get a modern concept.
No, it'll make you laugh at how twisted the Joker is, which is probably a good thing. But anyway,
what I'm saying. He's supposed to be twisted. So I think Oracle's a cool character. And it's a girl, it's a woman who was at her physical peak, her prime, was a superhero, had her world taken from her, and doesn't stand up, but sits up straight and survives it and creates a new world for herself and becomes a new kind of superhero, more important to saving all these lives than probably anyone else but Batman. And this, I mean, she becomes part of the Justice League as Oracle. So I think that to take that away is as part of her story, was a bad idea in my opinion. Barbara Gordon.
No, I just
Barbara
don't think
Gordon's Batgirl is cool, but I don't know that the fact that she's Barbara Gordon, the commissioner's daughter, is what makes Batgirl cool or important.
No, they're just not going to do that to people really like Felicity. Did you? I don't know if you caught. We've been talking for a couple weeks. Are they or are they not going to give Mr. Terrific his outfit?
Yeah.
Did you see that his jacket straight up had fair play? Fit
No, I haven't seen any pictures of him yet. They've got pictures of him in his outfit or just on his jacket somewhere?
No, in this past episode, he was just wearing the jacket. They just didn't have it like highlighted in red. But like if you see a screenshot of the internet, it's definitely got fair play written down both sleeves.
No, that's awesome. I didn't notice that.
I think that's as far as we're gonna get. Maybe like he'll have some sort of like tech goggles that like somehow forms a bit of a T or something. I don't know.
I hope so. I hope we get something. Anything else on Arrow?
Well, Laurel single-handedly from one scene dragged this episode from an A to a B to me. So
see, you can tell why. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean that just is. She's Ollie. You don't think about me enough, Ollie. What about my feelings in all this? And it's like, I'm sorry. It's just, oh my God, Laurel.
I agree. As I mentioned earlier, when I'm referring to Gordon, she's the one character who keeps kind of sliding backwards in quality while everybody else improves. But that being said, I kind of accept her as a part of the background as long as she's not influencing the plot hugely with her silliness, which she did with her sister. But whatever. I don't know. It didn't. To me, this episode was an A.
And
close, not an A+ because there was her and a little other Arrowisms. But man, this was a solid, fun, exciting episode. And when I turned it off, I knew it was. I watched it last, and so I knew immediately it was my favorite of the week.
So this is the last episode, I think. All right, so let's say today's the 9th, right? Yeah. So let's say we record on Friday, right?
Okay.
That'll be the 6th. No, the 4th. No, I mean that'll be the 14th.
Either way, Monday, Friday.
Either way, there will only be one more episode of this show in between Marvel's Jessica Jones bomb.
When's it come out?
November 20th.
Okay. Let's actually. I think we're gonna have to record Sunday because I am going to LA Friday and Saturday. I'm working the marijuana conferences all week this week, and then Friday I have to go to LA.
Oh, what are those like? Those like cup events or something?
No, it's for there's the marijuana business conference and the two publicly traded investor summits where companies can network, meet investors, and show off and their new products and try and entice investors. So I'm going to interview and take photos and do a bunch of stuff.
And that's in LA? Shit.
No, that's in Vegas, and then the weekend I'm going to LA.
Oh, what are you doing in LA?
George from Richmond is visiting LA, and Cherie from San Diego. So we'll have like 4 or 5 friends in LA at one time, and so we're gonna go visit and hang out with some of them. We haven't been out of town since July. We want to get a break.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way, so there definitely will
Either way,
Jessica Jones. Just pointing out Jessica Jones coming soon. I should probably stop the broadcast because there's no. So anyway, signing off.
Jessica Jones coming soon. Should be awesome if it's anything like its predecessor. And that's it for today.
Sweet Christmas.
All right.